Welcome to this week's Engineering Management Lessons video, the ultimate guide for engineers looking to unlock their full leadership potential. Today, I'm joined by Bony Dawood, licensed professional engineer, president and CEO of Dawood Engineering, a Woolpert company. So, Bony, you've had a very successful career. You grew Dawood Engineering. It's now a Woolpert company. You're kind of embarking on a new leadership journey, but you've been a proven leader in the industry. And what I'd like to ask you to talk a little bit about today is that transition from a technical professional or an engineer into a manager or leader. What does that look like for technical professionals? Does every company have the same tracks? Anything that you can do to help our listeners go from technical professional to manager, or just stay as a technical professional and take that track, would be really beneficial.
It's a great question. A lot of times I've seen companies, segregate the managers and identify the managers that have a certain level of business acumen towards the managerial levels and higher management, senior management levels. I think it's a matter of, really long term. If you want to pursue the business aspect of it, it will take you away. It doesn't mean you won't leave the technical aspect of it, but you've made a commitment in terms of long-term growth, long-term strategy. And it is, you're selling service. You're like any other business out there, but you're in the business of selling time. And unfortunately, you'd love to be an engineer, but you have to understand that there's a point in time you've got to make a decision on, it's also a decision that impacts your family and what your financial goals are long term.
Yeah, it's a good point in that. And I think there can be a misnomer out there in some respects in that you have to become a manager. And I think in a lot of companies, there are technical tracks that you can stay on as an engineer if you like to remain technical throughout your career.
Yes.
But I think it is a little bit of a misnomer where a lot of engineers think, I have to become a manager. I have to go into a leadership role in my company. And listen, if it's a very small organization, there may be some instances like that, but for the most part, in a lot of mid-sized to large engineering companies, there are technical roles that they need people to do great technical work throughout their careers. So, to Boney's point in terms of segregating the different professionals, I think you should get really clear on the career pathways within your organization, which may require a talk with your supervisor, your HR team, depending on how big the company is, and really understand your options. Because if you do want to stay technical, maybe there's a way to do that. And if you do want to become a manager and a leader, you are going to have to sharpen some of those skills, some of those softer skills, some of those ability to lead, ability to present. But I think a big piece of it, to Boney's point, is understanding the options that are available for you. Because I would imagine, Boney, like in a company like yours, you have technical tracks and you have managerial tracks.
Yeah, that's correct. And I think it's a great way to lay it out. I've seen industry experts really excel and being in high demand because of their expertise, and they're fully technical. And, you sort of enjoy individuals that elevated themselves on the technical side. So I think, there's career paths on both routes. But I think it's one of those, like I tell my sons when they're growing up, it doesn't really matter what you want to do, work at a golf course, just do it well. Focus on what you want to do and do it well. And I think when you go to the business side, you can pursue an MBA, get the MBA to help you out. I learned a lot of it without the MBA, but I would probably recommend get the MBA early in your career. You do that's a long-term route, so you understand how the overall impact of the business is.
That's great stuff. And I think the bottom line here is, in your career as an engineer, do what you like and what you're good at. And if that means staying on a technical track, focus on a technical track. If that means becoming a project manager or becoming a department leader, then go onto those tracks and learn those skill sets. But like Boney said, you have to kind of do what you like to do to really flourish in your career. And if your company doesn't necessarily have the right track, then you might have to look for something else. But the bottom line is, first understand what you like to do, and then kind of look for the opportunities where you can do it.
And I have to just say, your staff will feed off that energy.
Yes.
Your staff can sense, your excitement about a project, whether it's technical or on the management side. They can sense it, and that's how you get them to follow and take and and really improve themselves.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I was always taught that too. The leader's kind of energy and attitude is very contagious amongst the team, and which can be a very good thing, and it can also be a very bad thing. So, it is important to recognize that, and leading by example and showing them the way can be very beneficial. So once again, Bony Dawood, licensed professional engineer, president and CEO of Dawood Engineering, a Wilper company. Bony, thanks so much for sharing your advice with our audience. We really appreciate it.
Thank you again, Anthony. I appreciate the time. Hopefully someone got some morsels of knowledge out of this.
Thanks, Bony. I'm your host, Anthony Fasano. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Engineering Management Lessons. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel here, as we do put out videos like this on a weekly basis to help engineers become better managers and leaders. I'll see you next week.